President Trump had promised harsh measures against Colorado based on his false claims about election rigging. Now, Trump falsely claims that Colorado's mail-in ballots mean automatically crooked elections, cited them as a big factor in pulling Space Command's 1,400 jobs and billion-dollar economic impact out of our state. You know who doesn't believe President Trump, even if they won't say so publicly? Republican voters in Colorado, who overwhelmingly choose to vote by mail instead of in person. And the Republican officials they elect here, who certainly don't think that their elections were rigged. Our Marshall Zellinger looks at how Trump's big lie is creating big consequences for Colorado.
Donald Trump lost Colorado, but he won here in El Paso County, where 90% of registered Republicans voted in November, and 9 out of 10 used a mail-in ballot.
I vote mail-in ballot.
Not only is Steve Schleicher a user of mail-in ballots, he's a beneficiary as the elected Republican El Paso County clerk and recorder.
And that's where most of the votes come in, is through the 24/7 secure ballot boxes.
El Paso County is also home to Space Command, or was home to Space Command. President Trump announced it will move to Alabama because of how Colorado conducts elections.
So he had a significant win in El Paso County with the, basically the current voting system in the state of Colorado.
Mail-in ballots also helped Republican Congresswoman Lauren Boebert and Republican Congressmen Jeff Crank, Jeff Hurd, and Gabe Evans. Oh, and it helped Schleicher get elected clerk and recorder.
It is not the clerk and recorders that conduct the election. It is our bipartisan teams of judges. These are Republicans. These are Democrats. These are unaffiliated individuals within our communities that are either our friends, our neighbors, our family members, who are sitting here basically standing up and saying, hey, our elections are correct. There is no fraud.
Trump's opposition to mail-in balloting is not supported by most voters in Colorado. In November, 3 million votes were cast by mail-in ballot. That's 92% of all ballots turned in. When you add up all the voters statewide, 9 out of 10 Republican voters turned in their mail ballots. Only Denver, Lake, Los Animas, Moffett, Pitkin, Summit, and Teller counties saw just more than 10% of Republicans vote in person.
So they actually invest the time. But when you're sitting here making a major decision in regards to moving a military headquarters out of Colorado Springs due to elections, it's like a slap in the face to many of the election judges.
There's actually a U-Haul station right next to Space Command. If you're like, no, the clerks and recorders are in charge of elections, here's another stat for you. 40 of Colorado's 64 counties have elected Republican clerks, 40 of them. That's almost 2/3. 16 are Democrats and 8 are unaffiliated or nonpartisan. You could make the argument Denver should be shaded blue instead of purple, but Paul Lopez was elected in a nonpartisan race. Bottom line, when you insult Colorado's election system, you're insulting more Republicans in charge of those elections than Democrats.
We also can't forget the most prominent person in America who routinely votes by mail.
I mean, certainly you're not going to say the president does that.
He does.
By mail.
By mail. Even hands it off to a third party to put it in the box for him. What some people would call ballot harvesting.
Right. When you don't like it, it's called ballot harvesting.
Sure.
When you do like it,
it's just called voting.
You're the president.
Yeah, I guess so. Marshall, thank you.